My grandson introduced me to IMR Scary Tales a few months back. After watching their content for a while, I finally feel this is the best platform to share my story. I am Ruby Lerman, currently 63 years old, living in Florida. My husband died 4 years ago, so it's been just me. I'm one of those few older people who are reluctant to succumb to a boring life just because we're aging. This incident happened 2 days before when I went to watch a movie. The movie ended around 8:30 p.m. I was driving along the empty streets, thinking about where to go for dinner, when I noticed the Chipotle on the side of the road. I have never had Mexican food before, so I parked my car to give it a try. The Chipotle outlet had been there for the last few weeks. There were very few cars in the parking zone. Once I walked into the restaurant, it shocked me to see how empty it was during such peak hours. 2 truckers were eating at a corner table. Right in the middle of the restaurant sat a man dressed as a big red chili. His funny costume made me laugh, and he noticed me right away. We exchanged an awkward stare. The moment our eyes met, he let out a big smirk. Thinking he was just being polite, I smiled back too. I went to the counter to order. The boy at the counter looked at me with a disinterested face and said,
"Welcome to Chipotle. May I take your order?"
Hi. I will have a chicken burrito bowl with a berry agua fresca.
We don't have berry. We can do mandarin.
Fine with me.
Please take your seat. Your order will be right up.
I went to take a seat and saw the truckers leaving the restaurant. It was now me and that Chipotle mascot. Seeing me waiting for my food, the man got up and came to my table. He was really tall and had big eyes, like a night owl.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm guessing you too enjoy eating alone just like me.
Yeah, kind of used to it now. Loneliness becomes a constant companion when you're old.
But you have me here. I can keep you company till you enjoy dinner, if you want.
Maybe this isn't an ideal situation today, but back in my day, we were taught to be nice to those who were nice to us, without doubting their intention. I know that sounds risky, but that's how I was brought up. So out of my humble gesture, I thought about what harm could come from chatting with this man. I was going to eat alone anyway. Sure, I'm okay with that.
Oh, great. You are so kind.
The man pulled up a chair from the next table and sat beside me. His odd red chili costume made it pretty difficult for him to sit down, but somehow he managed. I wasn't sure about his age, but he seemed younger than me. So how long have you been working at Chipotle?
Not long. I always wanted to be a Chipotle mascot.
Really?
Yeah, isn't the costume amazing? I mean, look at this big red chili I'm wearing. I bet nothing can beat this fashion.
Yeah, right. You're very funny.
What? No, I was being serious. You really should try out this costume, Grandma. Only then you will know.
Even though I was old, I surely wasn't the age of this man's grandmother. But to not make a big deal out of his sly comment, I kept my calm. The food got delivered, and I began to eat. While I was eating, this man kept watching me. Every bite I took, he just stared at me and smiled in a very disturbing way. Seeing me concentrating on the food, the man spoke.
You must be really hungry, no?
Yeah, well, it's dinner time.
Sorry, I didn't ask your name. I'm Cam. Eyes and ears of this place.
I'm Ruby.
So, Ruby, are you single?
What?
Didn't I tell you? I have a thing for older women.
Now, the man started being outright creepy, and I realized what a huge mistake I'd made by telling him to join me. Trying my best to avoid any trouble, I replied, I appreciate your attention, Cam, but I don't have a thing for younger men.
Oh, come on. This is probably the best thing that could happen to you at this age. Embrace the opportunity, Ruby.
He slightly leaned over to my side and placed his hand on mine. I was stunned to see his audacity. I moved my hand away and said, "I think I've had enough company for tonight. It'll be better if I finish my dinner alone." I went back to eating, thinking my loud and clear rejection would drive him away. If only I had known the creeps nowadays don't budge so easily. He got up from the chair, holding a pissed-off face, and then gave me an ear-to-ear smile, saying,
"Don't be like this, Ruby. We were just becoming friends."
"Look, you 6-foot chili wiener. I don't want to be your friend, so leave me alone. Am I clear?"
Crystal, Ruby.
"And stop calling me Ruby, you jerk." Even though I insulted him, he still didn't go away, but stood there, watching me with his creepy eyes. "What is your problem?"
I'm just thinking.
"What? What is there to think? I just told you."
I wonder how spicy you would have been back in your day.
"Excuse me?"
Enjoy your food, Grandma.
Saying this, he pushed the table a little, and it spilled my beverage, making a mess of my food. At that point, I had had enough, so I got up to complain about this guy. Seeing me walk to the counter, the man quickly left the restaurant. I called out to the Chipotle employee who was busy in the kitchen. "Hello, you there?"
What is it?
"That man is disgusting. How could you guys hire someone like that? No wonder this place has no customers."
Wait a minute. What are you talking about?
"Your stupid mascot has no respect for older people. Where's your manager? I want to report this man."
But we don't have any mascot in the house. That man came in on his own. Our restaurant has nothing to do with him.
Oh my God. I grabbed the nearby chair nervously. So this man was not only a creep, but a liar as well. The fact that he casually dressed up as the Chipotle mascot and came to pick up older women here made my skin crawl. I couldn't finish my meal, and with trembling steps came out of the restaurant. It was 10 p.m. already. As far as my eyes went, I couldn't see that man anywhere. I quickly walked to my car, and as I noticed the driver's side window, my stomach dropped. The window was shattered. There was broken glass all over the seat, and dirty blue underwear was resting on the steering wheel. Just then, I heard a crazy giggle from the other side of the road. It was that crazy guy. He was standing on the sidewalk and waving at me with a big, evil smile. "That's it, psycho." I took out my phone and dialed 911. There's no way I'm driving home with his dirty underwear. He realized I was making a call to the police, so he yelled my name.
Ruby! It was nice meeting you, my darling.
Saying this, he lifted his left hand and licked his palm, taking out his big tongue. The way he made this awful gesture while staring at me made me feel unclean. I wanted to dig a hole right there and bury myself in it. He disappeared into the woods after that. When the cops came and asked me what happened, I was in complete shock. Women my age don't expect to get molested or assaulted by young men. Yet that night, that crazy man molested me with his words and vile gestures. The cops lodged my complaint. They also acquired the footage of the CCTV inside the Chipotle restaurant for better identification of this creep. I just hope he gets caught soon.
Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying the video. If so, please leave a like. And also, a small percentage of people that watch my videos are actually subscribed. If you want to support this channel and make this channel reach the 1 million mark, please consider subscribing. It's free and you can change your mind later. Enjoy.
I'm sure those who work in line waitressing are very familiar with weird customers. When I started working for Chipotle, I was 19 years old, fresh out of high school and looking for a job to pay for college. My dad wanted to help me, but I desired to do this on my own. I have always been a headstrong woman. So, it was a chilly winter night. I was working the late night shift at Chipotle. With me were Ryder at the register and Tamara in the kitchen working that night. It was around 8 p.m. I was cleaning a table after the customers left when I heard a loud noise of tires screeching outside the restaurant. I looked at Ryder, who was standing close to a window, so he could see better than me what was happening outside. I noticed his face, and he looked tense. For a second, I thought we were going to get robbed, but then Ryder said in a disappointed voice,
Women should never drive.
"Why? What happened?"
Nothing. She just pushed the brake too quick. Anyways.
He casually walked back to the counter, and I didn't bother to check outside. A few more customers came in, and I was attending them one by one when the restaurant door pushed open and a woman walked in. Like everyone, she too was wearing warm clothes due to the snowfall outside. She got inside, took the extreme corner seat on the left, and kept her head down. I quickly walked to the counter, seeing Ryder staring at the woman. "Hey, stop staring like that. What the hell is wrong with you?"
What? No, I know her.
"Yeah, right. That's your disease. You think you know every woman in the world."
Shut up. No, I'm serious. I just saw her outside. She was the one who pushed the brake too hard.
Oh God, so what? Maybe she did. That doesn't make her crazy.
No, you don't know. I saw her talking to herself standing outside her car. She was shaking her head and talking to herself.
Maybe she's a little drunk. That explains the reckless driving as well.
Maybe.
You're just overthinking it. I walked to her table to take her order. This entire time, she sat the same way. Still, head down, hands on her lap. Even seeing me approach, she didn't move an inch. "Welcome to Chipotle. May I take your order, ma'am?" Nothing. I asked again. "Your order, ma'am?" Again, no answer. Head down, sitting still like a statue. For a second, I thought she might have fallen sick or deeply asleep, so I stooped down a little bit. That's when she suddenly looked up, scaring the hell out of me.
What?
No! I mean,
When will you take my order? I've been waiting for hours.
despite me calling her not once but twice, she spoke to me very rudely. But I am a waitress, and I have had my fair share of screaming customers. I kept my calm and then said, "I apologize for the delay. What would you like to order, ma'am?"
One steak taco, one burrito bowl to go with a tractor lemonade, and make it fast. I don't have all night.
"Sure, we will try our best." I turned around to walk away when the woman said in a low voice,
Blonde dummy.
My blood boiled. I wanted to slap the hell out of her. But it was her lucky day. I stormed into the kitchen with her order. What a bitch! Ryder was right about her. Someone looks pissed off. "We have a crazy customer tonight, Tamara. Relax, we're trained to handle them. So what does the freak want?" I handed Tamara the order slip, and she began cooking. Feeling thirsty, I went to the water dispenser. While filling the glass, I looked at the woman from the corner of my eye. She was back to her sloth-like position. No one would have believed that she screamed at me like a mad crow just a few moments back. 2 other customers walked in, so I ignored her and went to help them. The snowfall was getting heavy outside, and the number of customers was getting fewer with the night passing. 5 minutes later, Tamara rang the bell, and I understood the crazy woman's food was ready. I picked up her meal and went to her table. I wanted to keep it very short, so I placed her food on the table and said, "Enjoy your food."
What about the ma'am?
"Sorry?"
You're supposed to call me ma'am. Now I can guess how you got this job.
"Excuse me? What do you mean?" She suddenly got up from her table, came close to my face, and started screaming at me.
I mean, you're bad at waitressing, slut.
"What the hell?"
You girls think the world is on the tip of your shoes, and you just have to be pretty to get by, but I'm here to give you a reality check. Wake up, Angel. You are not in heaven anymore.
Tears rolled down my eyes as she insulted me in front of everyone. Seeing me break, Ryder screamed from the counter.
Finish your food and leave, or we're gonna have to call the cops.
The woman gave a death stare to Ryder, and then a huge grin appeared on her face. She sat down, and without speaking another word, began to eat her food. She didn't apologize to me, but at the same time went extremely quiet with the mentioning of the cops. I wiped my eyes and went to the counter. Ryder consoled me and told me not to cry.
Just let her come to the counter. I'll teach her a lesson, Tilly. Please don't cry.
I'm fine. It's just, no one ever talked to me like that. She doesn't even know me, and she called me a slut.
Well, she is a jerk, okay? Let's go with that conclusion.
Once Ryder calmed me down, I decided to call it a night. We were down to the last 3 customers anyway, and we were sure no one would stop by on this snowy night. Tamara cleaned the kitchen, and I was collecting the tips. The last 3 customers, including that woman, approached the counter to pay. Ryder made her wait while making excuses that he had to check the register once. The woman quietly waited at the counter. I could see her eyes getting wide in anger. Her lips were trembling as if she would snap at any moment.
Is this how you treat your customers?
No, just the crazy ones, ma'am.
I see.
And that's when the freak show began. She suddenly got all raged up and started to destroy the restaurant. She kicked the chair near her and then turned over the containers kept on the counter. She also pushed away from the computer, which almost hit Ryder. Shocked by her extreme outburst, Ryder forgot to react.
You want to call the cops? Fine, go ahead!
She then ran to the water dispenser, picked up the half-filled tub, and rushed back to the counter. Aiming at Ryder, she threw the water-filled tub at him. In that cold night, Ryder not only got drenched, but also the heavy tub hit him in the face, resulting in a bruise. The other customer standing next to her started to scream in panic and moved away from her.
I'll show you all! No one gets to threaten me!
The restaurant was a mess. She was kicking and breaking everything within her reach. Tamara and I called the cops, but the woman's head was stuck in some other dimension. She just kept on rampaging the place. When the cops came and took her away, she was growling like an injured wolf. The owner filed charges against her, and she was thrown in jail. I just feel lucky that she had no weapons with her that night. Otherwise, God knows what more she would have done.
I've heard that the first job experiences are always the most complicated. My case is no exception, as I almost lost my life in my first month on the job. The job was at Chipotle, and I couldn't have been happier. I loved Mexican food, and that was my favourite place. My manager had interviewed me. She was a very nice woman who seemed to be pleased with my enthusiasm, although she couldn't hide her nerves.
And that's how you use the cash register. Did you have any questions, James?
No, Mrs. Wendy.
Hey, take it easy, kid. It's okay to be nervous. It'll go away with the 3rd customer, you'll see.
Thank you, Mrs. Wendy.
And you can just call me Wendy. There's no need to be so formal.
Okay, Wendy.
Hey, I have to go do some business with my brother for a few hours. If you have any doubt, you can ask Shara. She's been here for a while, and surely she won't have any problem. Right, Shara? Do I have to? You were new too. Don't be like that. The guy's nervous. Okay, I'll help.
After that, Wendy left in a hurry, and a few seconds later, Chara looked at me laughing.
So, do you need this job so badly that you put on a show for the interview?
What do you mean?
Come on, no one would be that excited to work at Chipotle.
Why? I mean, this place is really nice, and the food's really tasty.
Wow. You really are excited to work here, aren't you?
Yeah, totally. It's been my dream for as long as I can remember. I love this place.
What a freak.
The day went by very quickly, and it had been exactly as Wendy had said. Even though I had served the first customer with a very frightened and shaky voice, I was getting more and more confident, and by the middle of the day, I was already serving with great calmness. I didn't see the manager much, but even if reluctantly, Chara gave me all the help I needed. After a week, I felt at home.
Hey, freak, I have to go help in the kitchen. Be right back.
No problem.
The minutes passed, and the customers started to pile up. I was serving them quickly, so there were no complaints. All this changed when a customer entered the place and went ahead of the line. He was a tall, imposing, skinny man. His cold stare crossed my eyes, and a shiver ran through my body. Without further anticipation, the man spoke to me with a determined tone.
Bring me the option 3 to table 8 and tell the cooks to hurry.
Oh, sir, you have to wait in line to order your food. Besides, you have to pay.
What did you just say?
I'm sorry, sir, but other people are waiting in line already.
Listen to me, you little shit. If you know what's good for you, the damn option 3 will be on table 8 in less than 15 minutes. You understand?
No, you listen to me, sir. You will leave the establishment now, or I'll have to call security. We do not tolerate disrespect here.
The man was perplexed. I could tell he wanted to say something, but the words didn't come out of his mouth. He just looked at me with a confused look on his face and left. I had never had so much courage in my life. Wendy told me to call Chara with clients like that, but I wanted to prove to them that I had personality and that I can handle difficult clients if I want to. A few minutes later, Wendy arrived earlier than usual and came to pick me up at the cashier's desk.
Hey, James, can you come to my office for a moment?
I followed Wendy to her office, and as I entered, I was shocked. Inside was the man from before, standing against the wall, looking me up and down. Wendy pointed to the chair, looking at me, so I took a seat.
Yep, that's him.
What a relief. I was afraid it was someone else. I can't stand this little shit.
Wait, is this the bootlicker?
The one and only.
What?
Nice to meet you, kid. I'm a big fan of yours.
Wait, who are you?
Without another word, he approached me, grabbed me by the hair, and slowly forced my face against the table, wringing it out like a rag. Meanwhile, Wendy lit a cigarette, leaned against the wall, and began to smoke it casually.
You have to learn to be a little more respectful with the customers, kid. You don't know who you're gonna meet.
Stop it! You're hurting me!
Hey bro, did you know that chili is this asshole's favorite food? The little shit is in love with this place.
Oh, isn't that something precious? I got an idea. If you like Chipotle so much, you're gonna have all the chili you can eat. When? Can you let your cooks know the buffet is open?
Really, Caesar? Again?
Don't worry. I'll clean up my mess.
Whatever, I'm going home.
Say hi to Mom.
She hates you. Bye, Caesar. Bye, James.
Sir, I'm sorry I treated you badly. I didn't know how to handle the situation.
In response, the man pulled a revolver out of his pocket and put it to my head.
Listen to me. If you say one more word between now and the end of the night, I'll not only blow your head off, but I'll come looking for your whole family.
In silence, I could only cry. After a while, Chara came in with a plate of chili, and despite looking at me impressed, she didn't say a word.
This is your favorite food, isn't it? Start eating.
Without saying anything, for fear that he would shoot me, I obeyed and ate as fast as I could. Every time I slowed down, the icy metal I felt in my head pressed harder. As soon as I finished eating the chili, another plate was waiting for me, and I ate that too. The minutes passed, and I kept eating and eating. I had never eaten so much in my life, but the gun in my head whetted my appetite. Meanwhile, the man kept looking at me patiently with a smile on his face, enjoying my belly getting bigger and bigger. After a while, I gave up and began to vomit. The vomit had an orange colour and chili chunks came out. All the spice from the food went back on my throat and made me even thirstier, but I had no water.
What the fuck do you think you're doing? How dare you waste the food? Eat it all!
The man kicked me and threw me to the floor, forcing me to eat every last trace of vomit. At times, the disgust got the worst of me, and I had to vomit again. But I ate it desperately so I wouldn't get shot. While with a smile, the man continued to enjoy the show. When I got back to the chili, I couldn't take it anymore. I felt that if I didn't end up dead from a gunshot, I was going to explode. Everything that went into my mouth came back out, and I was desperate to put it back in so he wouldn't kill me. A few minutes later, the man saw his watch, picked me up, and tied me against the chair, and spoke to me.
It's been fun, kid, but the restaurant has to close. I hope you don't mind spending the night here.
I didn't have the strength to answer him. I felt like I was dying inside.
Well, I guess you don't mind. Take care of the place for us, kid.
After leaving me tied up and locking the door, the lights went out and the man left. Almost an hour passed and I started to get dizzy. I felt indescribable pain that started at the side of my waist and spread throughout my body. I wanted to continue vomiting, but I had no energy even for that. It was as if my body preferred to choke on my own vomit. I stopped feeling my body and my vision became more and more blurred. And just when I stopped distinguishing things, I could recognize Chara, who was desperately coming through the door. Then, I don't remember anything else. When I opened my eyes, I was in the hospital. The doctor told me that I had to have emergency surgery because I had eaten so much that my whole abdomen filled up, from my ribs to my pelvis. So much that it perforated and I almost lost my life. They never saw who brought me to the hospital, but whoever did it didn't come in with me. I guess Chara didn't want to put her family at risk. I never showed up at Chipotle again. In the days after my operation, I started to receive several threats, but since I didn't go to the police, they stopped coming. I always wanted to thank Chara for saving me, but I decided not to put her at risk. The best thing I could do in that situation was to keep quiet, be thankful I was alive, and never go to Chipotle again.